Hey guys, and welcome back to Cubing with Colin. In this video, I'm going to be going over some cool tips or things that I've found that I don't necessarily recommend you to do in solves, but they're just cool things, such as inserting this pair rotationlessly, and more. So like I said before, by no means should you do these in any solves, and I have no idea if they're actually optimal or in any way, but I think they're just some kind of cool things, and if you're fast and you think that it's good or not, let me know in the comments. So these are the 4 cases you can get with the F2L pair that you don't want to rotate. But before we really get into it, I want to explain how I came about this insert. So in RU, if you're inserting this F2L pair, obviously in RU you never rotate, so you'd insert it like that. But I figured in CFOP you could do it without rotating, but you just change it a little so it doesn't mess with the cross. So I'll just kind of show how it works on each of the 4 cases you've got. So first, on this one, if you'd have to rotate and then do, and then insert it like that, here you can not rotate and you just do a wide L prime and then a U prime, and then this is kind of solved, but rather than bringing it back down like in RU, you just bring the left side down. And now you're just restoring the cross with the UM. So, again, faster that would look like, that's not exactly faster here, wait. Like, okay, see, this is why I'm not sure if it's optimal, because it's very confusing, but you can kind of see how it goes. Then for the next one, it's the exact same one, but in the back. So I think this is a little better than the previous one, because in the previous one you're doing L moves, which can be awkward, and then at the end, the M move. But here, you can do the R prime moves, and then finish it off with the M prime with your left finger. So, what you do is right wide prime, U prime, right, then once again finishing off the cross, and I do, rather than having to regroup and do the M move like this, I just do it with my left ring finger. So, it would look like this, once again. I just did the wrong finger tricks, 1 second. It would look like this. And then, for this case, where it's basically the mirrored one of the first one, so rather than having the pair like this, you have it here, and you can do it with R wide moves and U moves. You do it like this. So that's how that one works. And then for the last one, before I actually show you, I kind of challenge you to figure this out on your own, because it works just like the others. So you're basically, just like the way it works once again, is you do an R wide move, and then U, or that was L wide, sorry, L wide U, and then you put it back. But like that's how you'd insert it in RU. But in CFOP, obviously you have the cross solved, so you just have to do 2 extra moves to restore it. So that's the first thing we're going over, and I'll be back with the next one. So this next one is less actually solving related, more kind of cheating the system when your timer is not a stack mat. So when your timer just requires using one hand to stop it, I kind of found something cool you can do. So basically what you can do, so you can kind of finish off the last moves of the algorithm. So like if you're here, rather than doing this with your thumb, you can stop the phone while doing this with your thumb, and it technically still would count. So, actually, I probably shouldn't have started with this, okay. So I'll just get a scramble going here. I don't really care about this time we get. So, oops, I'm just gonna solve my cross, and then show you guys kind of what I mean. And then here, I'll use this same case that we got in the last one that I just went over. And then here, do OLL. But then, when you get to PLL, V perm. And then, actually, even AUF you can do with this, so like that. So, once again, so say you have the AUF, so your AF will be a U prime. You can do your algorithm, and then let go and do your AUF with your other hand. So obviously this won't work in a competition or just on a stack mat, but if you're doing your timer on your phone or like on your computer with the spacebar, this is just kind of something to save you a little time. I know it's cheating the system, but I figured I'd go over it. And also, kind of going off that last one, this one you probably already know, but if you're doing an OH event, so you can leave your right or whatever your non-OH hand is on the timer as you're doing it, so that way when you're done it's already there, rather than taking it off and then grabbing the cube and then having to put it back on. Because that way, once you're done with your solve, rather than having to think about repositioning both of your hands, you can just think about going straight to here, rather than like this. So, not only can it save time, and it also can just like make you think less. It sometimes takes a while to get used to, because it's just kind of distracting to not have your hand in a normal position, but I thought that was something interesting. So for the final part, I've actually been thinking about making an entire video on it, so I'm just going to go over one. And this is if you're interested in learning full OLO. So if you think this is still going to be helpful, if you want to learn more about it, like tips on how I learned OLO and stuff, like secret tricks and stuff, then let me know in the comments and I will make that. But this is just like if you already know the Y-perm, which is what many people teach for using 2-look PLL. So if you need to, here, let me set it up. So like if you're using 2-look PLL, you have these two corners solved, so you do the diagonal corner swap, which is also called Y-perm. So if you're going to learn full PLL, or if you're going to learn full OLO, so say you already know full PLL, so you can recognize that this is your Y-perm. So in the Y-perm, the first moves that you do are like this. And that is actually the same algorithm that you use to solve this OLL, where it's the fish with the 2 bars. And then, after you do that on your Y-perm, it'll actually give you this case, which is another OLO, which is just a sexy sledge T. So you can also do it here like this. So, faster it will look like that. But there's more ways that you can learn these. So obviously, so for T-perm, it's actually the 2 reversed. But it cancels into it. So, for example, you start with the sexy sledge, but then you would have to do another F, and it cancels into it. So, you do the sexy, and then rather than doing the sledge, you just don't do the F, because if you think about it, this OLO starts with an F, then you just go straight into the other algorithm. And, so all these most of them link together. So if you're interested in me making a video on more advanced tips which would be helping you learn full OLO and full PLL, then let me know in the comments. But that's all I've got for today. So, as always, thanks for watching, and see you next time on Cubing with Colin.